All right, here we go. Brand new Flyers Daily for the 8th of March, 2024. Flyers Daily, as always, presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. That game last night, the Flyers and the Florida Panthers, an absolute stunner. Stunner. Florida Panthers, winners of 6 straight coming into the game. Best team in the NHL, points percentage-wise, best team in the NHL. I'm not even going to just throw the caveat of points percentage-wise. Top-end talent, guys like Barkov and Kachuk, Reinhart, Bobrovsky, Ekblad. I mean, they're a total package. And the Flyers, kind of a slow start, not a great first period. Got outplayed, got outshot 12-6. Then, boom, in the second period, get a goal real early in the period. And you get great goaltending and guys stepping up with other guys out. I mean, 2/3 of their decor from 2 weeks ago is not there. The only two you have that were there 2.5 weeks ago are Travis Sanheim and Cam York. Mark Stahl and Igor Zamula, second pair now, with Seeler out, and obviously Sean Walker traded to Colorado. And then the third pair is Adam Ginning and Ronnie Attard, who both get called up. By the way, that's number 12 and 13 of different defensemen that the Flyers have dressed this season. 13 different defensemen have dressed for the Flyers this season, and they're in a playoff spot. That's insane to me. Maybe other people don't think that's insane. I think that's absolutely insane. A lot of teams go, we'd like to go 8 deep of guys that we can put out there and we trust and that can get the job done. 13? That's bananas. It's just bananas. I'm trying to do the research to find out if any teams ever played more than 12 and made the playoffs in a season. It's hard research to find. But anyway, let's go back to this game because the Flyers, like I said, they get the goal early in the second period. Pretty much as early as you can get it. 10 seconds in. It's right off the hop, right off the face-off. Ryan Poehling wins the draw. Then he eventually gets the puck back from Cam York up the left side, and he goes down in on Sergei Bobrovsky. Bob kind of commits low, and then Poehling, backhand to forehand, absolute shelf. Just like a straight-up shot. Beautiful goal. His 8th of the season puts the Flyers up 1-0. Cam York and Travis Sanheim pick up the assist. Flyers had momentum for a little while after that, but eventually it's 7-12 of the period after the Flyers failed to clear their zone on a couple of occasions where they had an opportunity. Gustav Forsling picked up his 10th goal of the season. Ekblad and Lundell pick up the assist, and you've got a 1-1 game. I said this on a post-game show. I think if you looked at all the goals scored or all the goals allowed in the NHL, I think 75% of them would be after a team had a failed clear. The second chance opportunities, because then you get a team hemmed in, tired, reacting, not dictating, and that's when goals are scored, and you see it right there. Can't get the puck out, and eventually Florida gets the game tied at 1. And that's how we'd end the second period. 1-1, Flyers, Florida, heading into the third. What are the Flyers going to do in this situation heading into the third? How have they been? And when the game's tied after 2 periods of play this season. Here's the numbers on that. I was a little shocked when I looked it up. Flyers are 10-5-1 overall when they go into the third period tied at 1 prior to last night. They're 5-3-1 at home, and they're 5-2 on the road when they go into a third period with the game up for grabs. That's pretty insane. I was a little shocked by those numbers. So we go into the third period, back and forth, some good saves at both ends. Sergei Bobrovsky was making some good saves. Sam Emerson made a couple of unbelievable saves. Gets Reinhart on a breakaway. Makes just a disgusting save on Alexander Barkov. And, Flyers have a guy in there that's goalieing the Florida Panthers. He is just getting it done. And eventually, very late in the period, the set it and forget it line is out there in the final minute. Now, the set it and forget it line, as I've coined it, is Ryan Poehling, it is Garnet Hathaway, and it is Noah Cates. A line that you know is going to play the full 200 by 85. They can defend in all zones, but they're also now chipping in some offense. And this isn't where I expected if the Flyers were going to win the game. I didn't expect the game-winning goal, which came at 19:38 of the third period from Garnet Hathaway. But that's what happens. Hathaway kind of keeps the play alive in the Florida zone. Then he and Noah Cates are working down below the goal line, below the bottom of the circles. And what that does is it sucks all the Florida defenders down to below the top of the circle. Eventually, Cates gets it, wheels it out to the point to Mark Stahl on the left side. And Mark Stahl, I thought he was actually excellent in the game. I thought he played his best game as a Flyer, and it's not even close. But Stahl, really savvy play. Head up, sees that, okay, I got a lane to the net. I'm not going to score from here. Not on Bob. He knows Bob. He played with him last year. But if I shoot it, and he's got to save it on the short side, then that's what I got to do. That's where I got to leave the rebound. And that's exactly what happens. Because Garnet Hathaway is not net front, side net on that left side. And as soon as the rebound drops, Garnet Hathaway picks it up, tucks it around Sergei Bobrovsky, and boom, Flyers win the game. Noah Cates, Mark Stahl with the assist. Flyers win the game 2-1. Unbelievable. I didn't see it coming. When you consider what the pieces they have out, Konechny just getting back in. He didn't look 100%. He's going to have to get his game back. And you're playing that team with all that talent and playing well. To come out of there with a 2-1 win is huge. And another reason why it's so huge is because the chase pack, the teams that are chasing the Flyers in the standings. Now, who are we talking about? The team right behind the Flyers in the standings is the New York Islanders, winners at taping 4 straight. They're in San Jose. They'll be dropping the puck there momentarily. I'm not going to just give them the win. The Washington Capitals chasing the Flyers. The New Jersey Devils are chasing the Flyers. Penguins are cooked. The Caps beat the brakes off of them last night 6-0 in Pittsburgh. So the Caps grab 2 points. They get to 67 points. The Devils get 2 points. They get a win. They get to 66 points. Caps have only played 61 games. They have 3 games in hand. And the Flyers have 74. So if you don't get any points last night in Florida, then all of a sudden the Caps, with 3 games in hand, are within 4 points. If you don't get those 2 points in Florida, the Devils, with 1 game in hand, are now within 6 points. And it's getting tighter. And it's to grab those points and start out this 9-game stretch that I've talked so much about with that kind of win is a great start. Now, look, you got to continue it. I'm not saying you need to win all 9 of these games or 9 of these 10. Got to go to Tampa on Saturday and take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Flyers have lost to the Lightning 6-3 at Wells Fargo Center, and they beat the Lightning 6-2 at Wells Fargo Center. They'll be at Amalie Arena in Tampa coming up Saturday night. Then the easy game of the stretch, if you will, the aforementioned San Jose Sharks on Tuesday, and then the absolute gauntlet of 7 straight games from hell. And they are as follows. Toronto, Boston, Toronto, Carolina, who looks like they got Jake Gensel here at taping, then Boston, then Florida, and then the New York Rangers. Good news is this. The Flyers this season, and I saw Jordan Hall tweet this out from NBC Sports Philly, and I don't even know what this means. Like I don't even know I don't know what to do with the information. But the Flyers this season, top 10 teams that they have played against this season. They've been better against the better teams. So Jordan tweeted this out. Flyers have 10 wins over top 10 clubs. They've beaten the Panthers twice. Each of them was 2-1. They beat the Canucks 2-0, and they beat the Canucks 4-1. They beat the Dallas Stars. They also lost to Dallas in overtime. They beat the Winnipeg Jets, not once but twice, 2-0 and 4-1. They beat the Colorado Avalanche in Colorado 5-2. They lost to them in Philadelphia. They beat the Hurricanes 3-1. I think the Canes have beaten them twice. And they beat the Edmonton Oilers in Philadelphia, and they lost to the Edmonton Oilers out there. But they've beaten 10 of the top 10 teams in the NHL. They have 10 wins over top 10 clubs. They have a record of 5-0-1 over the top 7 teams in the NHL on the road. Where you going? Wait, you said 7. That's only 6 games. Yeah, they haven't played Boston yet. So when they get Boston in Boston, then it'll be the top 7 teams. They've played all 7 of those teams. But 5-0-1 on the road against the top 7 teams in the NHL. I don't even know what it means. I have no idea. But to be able to raise the level of your game to meet the moment of that kind of opposition it can't be a bad thing. I know that. I don't know. I don't think it pretends to anything. I don't have any delusions of grandeur. I'm not saying the Flyers would beat the Florida Panthers in a 7-game series, or the Canucks, or the Jets, or the Avalanche, or the Hurricanes. But when you have 10 wins over top 10 teams in the NHL, and a couple of those, like you've played the Panthers twice, you beat them twice. You've played the Canucks twice, you beat them twice. You played the Jets twice, you beat them twice. It's pretty impressive. And this team, as John Tortorella says, they just go about their business. And they went about their business again last night. And guys are out of the lineup. No Drysdale, no Seeler. Walker's gone. Yinning and Adder come up. Next man up. It's unbelievable. That was a stunning, stunning win that the Flyers got last night against the Florida Panthers. Unbelievable performance. We'll see if they can duplicate it come Saturday. That game could be far different. Could be wide open. I mean, both games against the Lightning, one of the teams has scored 6 goals. So it's probably not going to be low scoring. Sam Harrison was great last night, too. All right, let's get to our feature interview. You know, we talked about this guy in yesterday's episode quite a bit because he just signed a new 4-year contract. Deadline's coming up today at 3 o'clock. Danny Briere spoke before the game last night, said he may or may not be done. They're looking at everything. So we'll see what happens come today at 3 o'clock with the NHL trade deadline. We'll get into all that coming up tomorrow. But Sean Walker gets traded, but his D partner, Nick Seeler, gets a 4-year contract extension with an average annual value of $2.7 million. Nick Seeler is a guy that 3 years ago contemplated the end of his hockey journey, thought about hanging it up. He didn't. And he has come full circle now and has this 4-year contract. So here's my conversation with Flyers defenseman Nick Seeler, a guest on this episode that's got a brand new contract, a commitment to be in Philadelphia for 4 years. I couldn't be happier for the man that he is, the player that he is, the leader that he is, and the citizen of this community that he is. It is Nick Seeler. Nick, congrats on the deal.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words there. It's an exciting time, certainly for me and my family, and just so happy to be a part of this organization for the next 4 years.
I know that you mentioned in your media availability that you made the phone call to your parents and you spoke to your dad first. And what we know about hockey is there's a lot of early mornings. It's still dark out. You're traveling the rinks all over the place.
Yeah.
To be able to share that conversation with your dad, I'm sure was very special and maybe quite emotional.
It was very, very special for both conversations with my dad and mom. Just with their support over the years. I mean, every hockey parent out there knows the commitment that it takes.
Takes a village.
Yeah, it really does. It's so to be able to share that with them was obviously so exciting for me and emotional, and to be able to talk to my sisters as well. Just they've just been my family. They're so supportive of me, and always have been through the good times and maybe the tougher times in my career. And this is one of those times I'll look back on and remember it for a long time. It's a really special time.
One of the things about you, Nick, you considered hanging it up, and if I could kind of describe you in a word, it would be resilient. Like you're such a resilient player. The way you attack each shift, each game, the way you carry yourself as a pro, but you needed that resiliency to stay in it. Where did the resiliency come from in your life?
Well, I appreciate that. I just think it's been something that's I guess I've had since I was a younger player. That everyone has a different journey and path in their career, and mine's certainly no different than that. It's I've taken a unique path and have had to deal with some adversity and some uncertainty in my career, and I just think it's something that's in you to continue to push forward and and grow in the areas you need to grow in your game and as a person. And um, it's fun to look back on now. Kind of the journey you take to get to where you are, and ultimately signing an extension like this means everything.
There's a lot of forks in the road decisions to be made. Can you imagine if you didn't make the decision to keep going? All the camaraderie that you've had over the last 3 years, the experiences, the growth of your game and you as a person, and leads to this moment. I mean, could you imagine if you made a different decision at this point?
Yeah, sometimes I think about that.
Do you?
Yeah, sometimes I think about that. Uh, I just think everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
My faith as a Christian, it's been kind of a pillar for me, to something that I can lean on. And when I was going through that tough time a few years ago, when I didn't play that year, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Um, and I just think God has a plan for us, and his plan was ultimately this, and it kind of leads to where we are today. And it's pretty amazing to look back on. And I just feel so grateful for it, and just blessed to be here and where I am in this situation, with a group that we have, and the management that cares about their players so much, and um, a coaching staff that does the same, and a fan base that cares about um, the Flyers winning. And that's what it's about. It's finding a home that in a business where there's so much uncertainty, um, being able to find a place that you feel respected and comfortable. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that as well. I think certain people come into your life at certain times for certain reasons. And you got to just have that faith that the right people are going to come at the right times. One of the people that's come into your life is John Tortorella. And Nick, you've heard how glowingly he speaks of you as a man, as a player, as a teammate, as a guy who plays the game very honestly. When you hear a guy of Tort's pedigree that's been in this league a very long time say those kinds of things about you, do you almost kind of say, is he talking about me? Is it kind of surreal in some ways?
It is. And you know, being with Torts, this is the second year with Torts here. I just think we mesh really well. He's someone I have deep respect for. The way he handles our group, the way he approaches our group, I just think is the right way to do things. He's very fair and honest, and I think that's exactly what our group needs every day. We have a young group, but we also have a good mix of a little bit older veterans, but we certainly have a young group, and um, I love playing for him. He's a heck of a coach, and I'm excited to be able to play for him for the next few years here. And yeah, I just think it's funny. I think we have a lot of similarities, even though I just think we're both really intense, and
Mm-hmm.
expect a
Burn
lot.
hot.
What's that?
You burn hot.
Yeah, exactly. I just think, but we expect a lot from ourselves, and we want to succeed at the end of the day, and we kind of do anything to make that happen. So, a ton of respect for him, and it's certainly nice to hear those words from him.
Not only that, though, Nick, you end up in a city like Philadelphia. Like, if you could put the mold together, you fit here like a glove. What's it been like playing in this city? Because the appreciation that these fans have for a lot of the key attributes that you bring to a team.
Yeah, this is my third year here, and coming into Philly, I knew I certainly I played against the Flyers, when I was in Minnesota, and I knew that how good the fans were, and it's a tough place to play. And then obviously coming here, I was excited and wasn't sure what to expect, but they they are a great fan base. They're the best. They're fans that respect, I think respect what we do each and every night, and they want to win just like we do. And to be able to, to be here for the foreseeable future and be a part of, this city, it means so much to me, and I can't. I'm so excited.
Yeah, educated fan bases recognize nuance. They see some of the little things that maybe don't end up on a score sheet that absolutely matter. What has surprised you about living in Philadelphia, away from the hockey, just kind of culturally or anything about it?
Yeah, I don't know if anything's surprised me. I mean, there's a lot of good people in Philly. I think it's a city that, that just people care about their sports. I think they 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 want to root for each team, and they want to win as badly as the players. And obviously, you said besides hockey, but I just think that it's a city that's surrounded by sports, and that's a cool thing. And you can see it this year, with the fans coming back in the building. I just think they're excited, and hopefully it continues to grow, that excitement with the Flyers. And but yeah, I don't think anything's surprised me necessarily, but there's just a lot of good people in Philadelphia.
Yeah, probably the most identified things when it comes to Philadelphia are probably Ben Franklin, Rocky, and the Philadelphia sports fans.
Right,
And a
right.
lot of people think that the Philadelphia sports fans are evil. I've talked to so many guys that come here and play, and like, the people here are actually nice. Everybody, I thought it was going to be like crazy in this town, but the people are actually nice and appreciative and everything
Oh, of
like that.
course.
Yeah, it's tremendous. Playing with Sean Walker, he obviously got dealt Seals, but you guys had tremendous chemistry right out of the gate. I mean, you guys were a set it and forget it D pair, and that's rare because John Tortorella tinkers a lot.
Yeah.
I think everybody's played with everybody except for you and Walks. What was the experience like playing with him? And I'm sure you're going to miss him.
Yeah, I'm certainly going to miss him. He's he's obviously a great defender, great player. He's an even better person off the ice. I think it's funny how the partnership came about. Obviously the first few games of the year we weren't together, and then got put together, and then we stuck. It was we had instant chemistry, and I just think our games mesh really well. I think he's a little bit more offensive, and he's jumping up in the rush, and I'm obviously a little bit more defensive. And I just think we connected really well. Like I haven't before with a partner. He's definitely my favorite partner I've ever had. I think we grew together this year and stuck together and had each other's backs. And you mentioned how people come into your life. I think maybe Sean Walker was one of those people we kind of fed off each other this year, and I'm going to miss him a ton. He was a big part of the success we had this year, but he's going to do great where he is. He's one of those guys who has had to persevere through injury, and he's kind of the underdog, and he has that mentality that he's going to succeed, and I have no doubt in my mind he's going to do that in Colorado, and we'll see after the year. Hopefully he's able to come back here, but that's not up to me.
Yeah, that's as they say, higher pay grade. Although you did get a good raise.
Yeah, right.
Watching you two play, it just felt to me like there was not a lot of thinking out there. It was all on instinct, and there's a trust and an instinct which was there. Last thing for you, Seals, you got the payday. What are you going to get? Watch, car, steak dinner?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna probably treat my family and friends when we're next time we're all together to a really nice meal, and not sure if I'm gonna buy anything or anything like that. I just want to make sure that the people who've been supporting me and through a crazy world, that we live in. It's I just want to make sure that they know how appreciated they are, and I hope they feel that. So if that's the least I could do is to get them a nice dinner and cheers to them and have a little celebration. So that's the plan for now.
Sounds like a great plan. Seals, congrats again on the deal. Thanks for doing this. We're looking forward to getting you back on the ice. I know you're chomping at the bit, but you got to get healthy. So appreciate the time as always. We'll see you back out there soon, and enjoy this. This is a great moment for you and your family, and everybody's really happy for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I always enjoy talking to Nick Seeler because I've always been a firm believer that part of a professional athlete's responsibilities is to be a good citizen in the community where you play, where you live. And Nick Seeler is absolutely a great addition to our community, our sports community here in Philadelphia, the Delaware Valley, whatever you want to call it. All class, all the way. So thanks to him for joining us. And thanks to you for watching, listening. Appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll get you ready for Flyers Lightning, and we'll recap trade deadline. We'll see what happens and what goes down coming up this afternoon at 3 o'clock as the deadline will take place. Everybody, have a great Friday. We'll talk to you tomorrow on a brand new Flyers Daily.
In the goal, can't fight through a check. Cates got it back to the blue line, though. Igor Zamula back to Noah. Cates spins him behind the goal. Comes out the other side, gives it off to Hathaway. Hathaway back to Cates. Back to left point. Stall with a shot. Deflected right out of the rebound. They score! Oh, what a play! Garnet Hathaway gives the Flyers the lead with 22 seconds left.